Hi guys, Alistair Taylor here, and today we're going to test a new club. So up until a couple of weeks ago, I actually hadn't even heard of this company. So it's Morsh Golf, and they've got a 2-wood on the market. So let's have a little look at the close-up of the head, talk about the design of the head and the ideas, come back, talk about the guys that this might suit. We're going to hit 6 real balls on SkyTrack, see how it performs, and see if this is something that if you struggle with driver, you might be interested in for this season. Okay then guys, so we've got the Morsh 2-wood, 10-degree head, very much 3-wood size though, 190cc, 3-wood length shaft, quite a shallow profile for a smaller headed driver, grooves across the face but nothing right out the middle, very traditional, just jet black top with a little Morsh emblem on top. Okay guys, so the idea is that for the guys who struggle with driver, a lot of you out there are very, very comfortable with 3-wood off the tee. So the idea of the 2-wood is 190cc head, basically a 3-wood, but with 10 degrees of loft. Now, I think what I see with a lot of guys that struggle with driver is they actually struggle with the loft as well. So I'm not sure that this will be for everybody. But I'm going to hit 6 balls, we'll look at some numbers, and then I'll give you some feedback as to the guys I think they'd be worth trying this club or something similar, and maybe the guys that this might not kind of lend itself to. So, little low tee, obviously don't need to tee it high, tee it like a 3-wood, and it looks nice behind the ball. I like the way the pattern of the grooves on the face kind of just frame the face nicely behind it. So, off we go. I've not hit any shots with this yet, but 6 shots. Okay then, good strike, setting off straight, just turning over, pitching 220, rolling out 243. And again, for me, it gives a lovely flight, you know, gets the ball up in the air. Good distance. I mean, looking at where that pitched, definitely didn't, for me, pitch where I think I would hit driver to, but we'll look at some numbers shortly. But I think it, first impressions, felt very, very solid. So shot number 2. Another good strike, setting off slightly right, turning over a touch, not as much as normal, but again, good numbers out there. Okay, again, second shot, good. So it's 10-degree head. I've got stiff shaft and it's a 65 gram shaft. So it's certainly not as light as the shafts of some of the drivers out there. Definitely me, this is more a straight face 3-wood, which is what a 2-wood is. But yeah, I mean, I would look at that and I think almost that's very like a driver was 10 years ago. You know, more forgiving in the head and things, but yeah, you know, really, really good. And I can definitely see that some guys would benefit from a club like this. Again, another good strike, setting off just right at target, turning over, pretty typical for me on that one. Again, another good solid shot. I mean, I can definitely see why, from an accuracy perspective, the shorter shaft for guys, they're going to strike the ball better. Obviously, strike makes a massive difference on how the ball launches and spins and the influence guys can have. So I can see straight away a definite advantage for the guy who wants to get the ball in play with a driver like this. Again, another great strike. And you guys want to watch this one closely because that's probably the straightest shot I'm ever going to hit on one of my videos. Again, really, really good, really, really solid shot. I think it performs really, really well. We are going to look at some numbers, and I definitely think for the guy who likes hitting 3-wood off the tee, who launches it very, very high, I can massively see the benefit to going down to 10 degrees. You know, a lot of the other stuff, major manufacturers on the market, probably 13 degrees is the least you're going for. Or you're moving into kind of your mini driver that TaylorMade or that the 3 Deep that Callaway have done. But I think the mini driver that TaylorMade did, the head was bigger than this, and therefore I'd imagine they crept a little bit more length back into the shaft as well. So last couple with this. Again, another good strike, setting off slightly right, just not shaping back on this, but still decent numbers. Again, very, very solid. And I feel I could get all of these tee shots in play. But one final one with the Morsh 2 wood. Okay, a little bit out the toe, setting off right and turning over a little bit more than the last few have, but still not too bad out there. Probably the last one wasn't my finest accuracy wise, but yeah, I mean, looks and feel wise, very, very good. I think from the very new start out companies, as these guys are, to the major manufacturers, I think everyone's making good product nowadays. I think if you're not making good product, you just got no chance of making any indentation in the market. But let's look at the numbers and see how the Morsh 2 wood performs. Right then guys, so we'll look at some numbers. Look at club head speed just under 100 mile an hour. Did get one up to 100, so very much length to shaft influencing that, much more 3 wood swing speed for me. Ball speed of 142 as an average, so I was striking it well, nice out in the middle. Backspin just over 3,000. Again, for me, performing very, very like a 3 wood for me. Not saying it will for everyone. Average carry of 223 with an average total of 244. So, I mean, for me, there was some nice accuracy in some of those shots. Didn't necessarily see the driver distance, more down to shaft length and spin that I would create. But all in all, some really, really good shots with the Morsh 2 wood. Okay guys, so we looked at the numbers. I mean, for me, that launched like a driver and had kind of 3 wood characteristics with speed and everything else and spin that went with it. For me personally, I think with how I swing and how I deliver the club, probably wouldn't be a club I would put in my bag, because I don't think I'd use 10 degrees off the floor, and I am very comfortable and confident with driver. But like I said, if any of you guys watching are the guys out there who have really struggled with driver, not keen on the big head, the long shaft, and hit 3 wood great, but kind of feel you hit 3 wood too high, and if you've been on a launch monitor, you can see that your launch angle's very, very high, and you can see on the optimizer or whatever launch monitor uses for you, recommends you should be launching it lower. I can definitely see how a 3 wood with 10 degrees of loft that becomes a 2 wood would definitely benefit. I mean, certainly in years gone by, probably a lot of you guys watching will be too young to remember these. A lot of the manufacturers did 2 woods and things like that, which were hugely popular for guys who struggled with driving. But all in all, Morsh 2 wood, brand new company, kind of trying to get a foothold in the golf market. I mean, check out their website, I'll put that on the link below. But I was very impressed. I think it performs well, and I think for the right person, this could really deliver some fantastic results. My results were really, really good. Don't necessarily think they were any different from that I would get from a 3 wood off the tee, and I certainly couldn't use that off the floor, and I would get more out of a driver. But I do think that's got a place for certain guys. So, hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching and taking the time as ever. I always think it's interesting to test some of the stuff that not everybody's seen and heard of in the past. Leave any comments below. Some of you guys watching this might have already tried it, might already have it in the bag. Let me know how you found it. Let me know if you haven't got this in your bag, and potentially you can understand why something like this might work. I will try and get back to anyone who comments below. Please subscribe to the channel if you don't already. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down in the future. Stay in contact.